Hi everyone and welcome back to WARNO. Today something a little bit different. We're not in the normal monthly WARNO tournament, we're in the rookie tournament. That means that the players are new to WARNO, probably haven't played in tournaments before, or if they have, they've been at the lower end of said tournament. However, here they've got a little bit of guidance, most of them, from one of the more active players in the tournaments, Lathans, Protoss, Tanner, etc, etc. Today with Bruce and Badgerjelley. Bruce over on the left in blue, playing as the 8th Infantry, and over on the right we have Badgerjelley in red, playing as the 2nd Infantry. Nice to see the Brits in again. Now, as I say, they are newer players. This is the rookie tournament. Please bear in mind that they may play very differently to what we're used to seeing, and please be respectful in the comments. I know people can be sometimes offensive. Please don't be. A lot of these players are very new, and, you know, they're stepping out of their comfort zone to give this a go. So please be nice. Let's have a quick look at what everyone's got down, just out of interest as it's starting. So, javelins down here. Some warriors and infantry and some more javelins there. So, good spread. Not seeing any big tanks, just some M48s there. Up at the top, some more infantry. Plenty of anti-air. Badgerjelley, make sure he's got good air defense across the map there. And obviously he's got only the availability of recon for forward deployment, and the same over at this side, just that recon for forward deployment, just 2 recon there for Bruce and the chopper. And in terms of units, we do have some man pads as well, a couple of slightly bigger tanks with the M60s, and a M1 Abrams command tank. It's an expensive early purchase. Some pivads, some engineers. I think the majority of this is going to the centre by the looks of it. Yeah, sort of spread around this area and trying to get some right into the middle nice and early. So this was one thing on this map I was wondering about, is if either player would be going straight to the centre. Let's just highlight everything here. Okay, so looks like Badgerjelley is sticking in Echo, and Bruce is going to try and get something into the forest here. So this map isn't very well balanced. Many players will know this if they've played it before, and obviously people who've watched the tournaments in the past and the casts. The person on Badgerjelley's side, the right, tends to have an easier time, because if they can get into this area, then they can potentially just hold Charlie the entire game, because it's a big open area to push across here. Now, don't get me wrong, it's possible to push across, but it's a bit hit and miss. It's, you know, especially if there's forward deployment troops on that side and not the other, then it's a big advantage. Thunderbolt coming in, getting an early kill on that recon vehicle, and manages to get a side shot on here as well with another missile. There's a Phantom coming in to take it out. Phantom may get the... oh, does get the kill. Is that a second to last Sky Flash missile? Gets the kill. Did take a hit from an Eyehawk though, so we'll be repairing for a long time. Very aggressive down here from Badgerjelley, getting a Javelin and a Milan up. Unfortunately, they're going to be completely mangled because they don't have any standard infantry with them. There was some recon, I assume, in that initial vehicle there, but they got destroyed. But a really good spread for Badgerjelley. He's got a nice line all the way across the map. He's got some Milans, he's got SAS up here. Bruce has said very little, well, nothing really up to the top. He's completely focused down here. Has managed to get plenty into this little forest area. So 3 squads of infantry. Heimatsuchen aren't bad. Not the best infantry, but just in terms of the fact they have some firepower and they're cheap, they're pretty handy. They just aren't veteran in any way, shape or form, so they will lose their cohesion very quickly. Javelin here will be effective against this scout. Very effective. 1-hit kill. Unfortunately, his mech rifles and the engineers will tear apart these 2 squads. Milan here getting shots off on these M60s, and the M48s also engaging on them now. But the M60's a better tank here than the M48s, especially at this range. No one hitting very effectively though. The Milan surprisingly surviving this, forcing the M60 to actually retreat. Javelin's killed here. Oh, the Abrams command tank's in trouble though. The Milan's getting good shots on it. Oh, I think if that had been another side hit there, that command tank would have been dead. That was nearly very, very lucky, and for Badgerjelley and unlucky for Bruce. Jaguar comes in and gets annihilated by the Eyehawk and the Pivads. Fighting Falcon is in at the back as well, but is immediately retreated. Challenger command tank coming in back here for the back of this point. I think Badgerjelley is pretty secure up at the top there. I think a lot is going to depend on what happens down here with Bruce. Obviously, poor Milan getting absolutely torn to shreds down here. Poor guy jogging along with his Milan one. Let's be honest, you would have dropped it and run away. Terry's Pioneers coming in at the back there. And over on this side, Cobra and some military police coming in, and some mech rifles law. One M48 remains here. These have been repaired. Good use of supply. There's supply here as well, to be fair. Obviously, that's dealt with most of the anti-tank here. There is still the M48, but that won't last long against two M60s. Admittedly, the Command Challenger would actually be a good tank against these M60s if he's careful with it. Because the tank here, obviously 20 front armor, 19 pen, it's a very good tank. Another Milan here getting a side shot, very nice. Doesn't get the kill, but does hit. Smokes itself. Hamatsuchi managing to fire at the air mobiles there. The Javelin pushing up here. Javelin two-man squad will get torn apart by this Hamatsuchin though. Gazelle having to retreat. Milan pulling back as well. Command in the top corner here for Badgerjelley. He's managed to cap this point. Currently +2. He has more units coming in that side. Milan 2 coming in at the bottom here. There is a Challenger Mark 2 on the way in. That is a really good shout. I imagine... Where is it actually going? It's coming to here. Command Challenger moving up. Stinger just harassing that Gazelle. And there's a lot of units here for Bruce. He has repaired his command tank. This is Milan 2 off to around the back there. So this little break is allowing Bruce to move units in, and also Badgerjelley. Still feel like Badgerjelley's being very ballsy with that Javelin. Cobra coming in here. Can the Javelin hit it yet? Technically, it is within range, but it can't see it. Pivad's pushing up here. Oh, killed by the Challenger 2 command tank. Milan 2 gets a good hit on the M60 down there. Couple more M60s here. And the infantry pushing across. I don't think they've been seen. No, they're technically hidden from the Gazelles. Oh, surely the Javelin can see them, though. Yeah, the Javelin can see them running across. Cobra pushing in. Javelin still can't hit it. Does not have a line of sight on it. One M60 destroyed. Cobra engaging on the M48. M60's dead. M48's dead. Can the Cobra kill the Milan 2? It is out of missiles. It is finally out of Hydras, but it's now in range of the Javelin. Javelin gets a hit. It is stunned. Can the Javelin get a second hit? It's busy. There it goes. Gets the hit. Cobra down. Javelin being engaged by the infantry. This is an artillery piece. What is this? It's an M270. High damage. Big HE, big explosion. Devastating. Will clear the path. I've been on the receiving end of 4 of these firing at once. It is not pleasant. There wasn't a lot there for it to kill, to be honest. It has caused the Challenger to be pulled back. They did manage to kill the Javelin launcher. Bruce in control of this area here. And has a reasonably good control here, but needs to get into this point. That Challenger just sat up there, not on the move at the moment, is seemingly pushing further around this way. SAS engaging on these infantry here. SAS are outnumbered. They have managed to rout one of these squads, though. SAS are technically a very good squad. Reinforcements being called in there. Well done. SAS have managed to cause them to rout. These are only Vet 1, so they're just trained troops, whereas the SAS are elite. So their cohesion resistance is a lot better. Not to mention, you know, they are special forces. They are shock infantry, yada, yada, yada. M1A1 gets hit by the Milan, and... Did the Milan kill that in 1? I think the Milan killed it in 1. Nice hit from the Milan there. Currently +2 to Badgerjelley, with just under 30 minutes left of this game. It's all to play for, though, because Bruce still has a really good hold here. He just needs to break out. Badgerjelley making a bit of progress here, just pushing forward, killing these scouts. Some reinforcements being called in over there by Bruce now. Engineers dragging down here. Engaging with the SAS still. SAS are doing a really good job down here. Warrior Milan got a nice hit on the M60 there. M60 finishes the job first, though. Reinforcements have arrived here for Badgerjelley. It's what he was waiting for, including an attack chopper. Gazelle rocket doesn't have many rockets, though, so this will be a short-lived assault. M60 is going up against infantry to some extent here. The SAS will be reasonably good against these at close range. They do have those AT4s. 17 pen. Arm rifles have the law. Not the best, but will do damage at close range. Unfortunately, the SAS get minced pretty quickly. The law, not so great on front armor. Really need a side hit. M60s here, pretty much clearing up. Terrier's Pioneers absolutely no use against these tanks. They only have the satchel charge. Command tank here does get a shot off on the M60. Badgerjelley doing a decent job, has moved up here, is managing to push in this side with his tank as well. Struggling over here though, but I'm not seeing a command. Oh. Cluster bomber comes in. Good spread of bombs. Loses the cluster bomber. Challenger managed to take out the vehicle that was there. Another Challenger Mark II coming... Another 2 Challenger Mark IIs coming in. And that should certainly deal with the M60s. And as long as they stay at range, can pretty much deal with any infantry in there as well. Badgerjelley on the move here. Abrams command tank giving its position away. Challenger's not engaging on it, though. It is behind some smoke. The Milan 2 gets a hit, though. Milan 2 gets a good hit. Front armor, but a good hit. Can it get a second? And that smoke clears. Can this Challenger hit as well? Yes, it can. That M1 Abrams could be in trouble. The command tank is back there, sorry. Command tank is still safe. My apologies. Challenger 2 command tank takes a nasty hit from the M60 there. This could be the end of the Challenger 2 command. Oh, other Challenger saves the day. Challenger Mark II coming in down here. Does save the other one. Thunderbolt coming in gets the Challenger in the middle and the other warrior. Thunderbolt is down though, but it did its job well. Hamatuchin taking fire from the tanks. That command tank really needs a repair urgently. That is at serious risk from these units in here. Recoilless rifle is out of ammo, but the Panzer Force there are not. Those Heimatsuchen could be moved up to easily kill that Challenger. Or the Challenger's going to get close enough for them to engage. Here they go. Bang, bang. Poor Challenger. Terry's Pioneers coming in. Some more M48s there. I think Bruce is just having a real hard time breaking out here. He's called in another couple of M1A1 Abrams. That's probably a good shout against these Challenger 2s. Or Challenger Mark 2s, sorry. Mech Rifles Law, not going to be doing much at that range against the Challenger Mark II. They're very short range, and realistically, with the penetration on front armor, not great. Panzer Force, again, not really great penetration, short range. I mean, to be honest, this is all about getting close with infantry and getting a side shot. SAS, the Saxon, and some Terrorist Pioneers moving in to finish off these infantry. And I suspect with the fire support of the tank, they will do it. Challenger 2 here, getting shots off at this infantry. And this infantry, unfortunately, hasn't been repaired in a while and are pretty much almost dead. This Terrorist Pioneers not looking great either, but all these infantry charging at the arm rifles now. The arm rifles, obviously, many more still available in that squad. Reinforcements being called in at the top there for Badger. Obviously, this area has been cleaned up by Bruce. Though, really, there's not going to be too much shifting back and forth up there. I don't think. It's mostly what's happening here. And Badgerjelley is actually the one who's finally made progress and has managed to take this corner of the forest as well. Which now means he can potentially just reinforce this forest line, and it'll be very difficult for Bruce to push across. He does have those tanks in. He has a couple more coming in as well. There's potential there for a heavy tank push, which could overwhelm the Challengers if done right. As well as all the infantry, because again, these infantry are in desperate need of repair. As it stands, 22 minutes left. Badgerjelley, +2. At the moment, will win on points before time runs out. Another commander coming in here. Not sure what that's for. Maybe just a spare one in case something gets destroyed in Charlie. M1A1 coming in here as well. There's going to be a lot of tanks. That's 4 M1A1s. The command tank and an M60. There's plenty of firepower there. If used correctly, could be used to steamroll one tank here after the other, because there's only these two Challengers here. There's a Challenger up at the top there. But swinging around and going up, I suppose could easily kill this Challenger and then easily kill the second one without potentially taking a loss if it was just the M1A1s. But obviously, we know this. Bruce doesn't know this. The advantage we have of being able to see the entire map and where everyone's units are. Really good use of the M270 here to clear this area. Really good use. Nice shout, Bruce. Very nice. Just doing a lot of splash damage. A lot of stress damage. Even the ones in the buildings look stunned. And very badly damaging those SAS. Really good shout. That was a really good job. M1A1 pushing up, kills the Challenger. Firing, unfortunately, at the infantry now rather than the Challenger. Should start firing that Challenger, surely. Now within range, yes. Mainly front armor shots here, but plenty of them going in. And there it goes. Both Challengers killed. And this big force of tanks could do a good push here. SAS gets at least one good hit on the M60, but that is all it will get. Jet coming in, so fighting Falcon. Not sure if it had a target or if it's just on station. Does take a hit, though, from the tracked Rapier. Terrier's Pioneers getting ripped apart. Very effectively. Mortars coming in from the back there from Badgerjelley. This is a lot of tanks here. There's potential for them to do a lot of damage. Does Badgerjelley have an answer to this many tanks? He's bringing in a lot of M48s. If he can get them close, they'll be very good. But they do have kinetic weapons, but they need to be up close and personal to be doing the levels of damage to the M1A1s. Bruce trying to repair these tanks now. Infantry on the move, pushing up here. It's a good amount of infantry, though they are taking a lot of fire from the Warriors and the Saxon. Warrior destroyed by the tank, though. Saxon will not be long for this world if these tanks manage to push up. Oh, good response from Badger. Bringing in a load of Hell Arms. Very good against these tanks. In terms of anti-air, there is a Stinger, which has one missile left. A Stinger back here. There's an Eyehawk being brought in as well. And one Eyehawk at the back, but that's not going to have range on choppers. Stingers will have decent range, but the Hell Arms, I think, will cause issues for these tanks. Especially while they're out in the open, but they're getting closer and closer to this forest, and once they're all in there, Hell Arms will have a harder time hitting them without recon. This is a good push from Bruce. A really good push. I see that Badgerjelley is trying to move stuff up the top once more. M48's coming in, but just getting torn apart by those Abrams. They've done a little bit of damage to this Abrams. I think Bruce has seen the Hell Arm horde from Badgerjelley there. There's more Hell Arms back here. Wow, is that 6 Hell Arms there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Hell Arms. Look at them firing, jeez. One Abrams dead. Another Abrams badly damaged. That Abrams is dead. I think there was an M60 there somewhere. Might have already been killed. So we have one surviving Abrams, one surviving M48, and one Abrams that's being pulled all the way back. That was a really good push. But that was a good response from Badger. That's a lot of hell arms. And I mean, it's the answer that was needed. I can see Bruce rushing up these stingers and stuff. This poor stinger here, out of ammo. I think there's a command. Is there a command in all of this? Looks like the line's shifted in such a way that there's a command down here. Well, there is an infantry commander in that building. So the M48 within range of that stinger now. Ihawk is in range to return fire, but won't get many shots. That's it, 3 shots done. Needs to be rearmed. There's the surrender. Commiserations, Bruce. I mean, look at the kills and losses there. Bruce was doing a really good job. Really good job. That's unfortunate. I think in terms of the amount of points that Badgerjelley had, it would have been difficult, but I still think Bruce had a chance there. Though those hell arms were a big issue. And not having an immediate response to them is a big issue as well. Really well played, guys. I enjoyed that. A good pushback from Bruce. Really good tank wave. Plus the infantry. And then Badgerjelley's helicopters at the end were really good. Let's have a look at the kills and losses. I was just looking for something that really stood out to me there. Warrior Milan did well. The Milan 2 did well. And over on the other side, M60, but it is a tank. Mech Rifles did a good job. That was at the start when I think... Well, they got the Terrier Pioneers as well. I wondered if they were the ones at the start that got the kills from the Javelin and the Milan that pushed really far forward. But either way, good game, guys. Let's hop straight into game number 2. Welcome back to game number 2 with Bruce and Badgerjelley. Bruce, once again, playing as the 8th Infantry over on the right in blue. And over on the left in red, we have Badgerjelley playing as the 39th Infantry. Infantry versus infantry, no forward deployment here, just those recon units. And obviously the race is on to get into Alpha. Good spread of units for both players, to be perfectly honest though. Lots of units going to the top, actually, for Bruce. Not something we see too often, but a good push on Delta at the start can cause havoc for the other player. Not quite as much coming down here. Stinger sitting back there. LRS in that building. Has allowed Badgerjelley to get straight into these buildings here. Will mean that he will have access to the town, which usually goes to the player on Bruce's side. So the player on the right in this case. But he sent a lot to the top here, including a command tank. It does mean there's a good chance he could take that point. That said, there is quite a lot up here for Badgerjelley. I say a lot. There's air defense, there's 1 squad of anti-infantry, BRM-1, recon, and the Conkers. I think the biggest threat there is the Conkers. Down here we've got military police engaging on these infantry from range. There is a command in there immediately for Badgerjelley, though. So Badgerjelley currently taking the lead in terms of control of front points, but has not yet capped the other back point. Both back points captured by Bruce, which means he is +1 still currently. Back points worth 3 each. Middle points worth 2 each. Abrams in at the top for Bruce. He will be back to +3. Getting a nice head start on those points. Unfortunately, he is quickly losing control of this point down here, which means that he will have to fight his way back in, or he will need to push the top. Do see a little bit of movement here from these engineers and the military police. They will get fired on by the BRM-1 and the BMP-1 sooner or later. He is pushing across with those tanks as well, which will have issues with the Conkers. Conkers are indeed firing, actually. Let's zoom in on that. M60 is hit by the Conkers, but they are returning fire. Conkers are in trouble. I think the M60s will win this fight. Yes, they do. BRM1 engaging on the infantry here. Dragons do fire back. Military police with the M67 gets a good hit on the BMP1. I mean, I think it's safe to say that Bruce will win this little engagement here. But he's obviously struggling down there. Little marker gone down for an attack beacon on that point. Reinforcements coming in back here. A few reinforcements coming in at the top. Good push here from Bruce. He needs to take this point completely. He needs to get rid of that command. This is a good shout, though, because the Sappery won't do much good against these tanks. The RPO will also not do much good against the tanks. They pose a threat to the military police, though. Command tank pushing all the way up to this side as well. Look at how small that little corner is with the command tank right there. Squeezing him out. It's funny how small this can get. There we go. Command is dead in that corner. Now we are back to neutralized. Badger a firm control down here. He does have a T-80 BV up there. A couple of units scattered around there. Nothing too threatening at the moment, but I'm sure he will be... Yeah, look at this. A wall of T-62s coming in there. Units pushing up here towards this point for Bruce. Now, this is a difficult point to push back into, regardless of whichever side you're on. There's a lot of open terrain, and if people cover it properly, it's hard to cross at both sides. One of the easiest ways into this point from this side is definitely to come around the bottom here through these trees. So you're sort of getting across here as long as this area isn't covered in enemy troops. But this is good control up here by Bruce. Obviously matching the fact that Badger has controlled all of this bottom area. Now the question becomes, who can build up a big enough force to attack successfully or counter-attack successfully? Bruce could potentially push through to the back here, but there are going to be a lot of tanks to deal with. Infantry would be helpful here in this forest area to shoot out at them from the side. Down at the bottom, yeah, this is one thing I was a little bit worried about. Obviously, there are units here that can fire at range at any units that come in this way. So getting in from this side over here, it's not happening. There's too much cover there. You've got missile cover, you've got autocannon cover. It's not happening. Best chances to come in from the bottom in this situation. As I say, Bruce and Badgerjelley, new players. This is a rookie tournament. They may or may not know that from watching previous tournament matches, but you know, they will get there. More reinforcements being called in, mainly up at the top here for Bruce. Bruce holding here well, doing some damage, kills another tank. I think that's 2 T-62s killed there. Really good. Could this be a third? Not quite. Missiles coming in on these tanks now from the Conkers and the BMP. BMP is taken out. Conkers will take a lot of fire now as well. Conkers will surely die here. Really good job. There is this T-80 pushing up from the side here, getting shots off at units moving across that way. Dragon will get a hit. Need the Abrams to deal with this one. The M60s can do damage, but they will take a lot of damage if this T-80 fires at them. T-80 with 18 pen. Oh, good shot there, though, from the M60, but M60 immediately killed. M60 fires, gets the kill. I honestly thought the T-80 was going to kill the M60 there. Another T-80 moving in here. Some more units coming in this way, including a command. Now this is where a decision has to be made by the player, is do they push on? Can Bruce push into this back point? Right now, from our perspective, yeah, probably he could. The T-80 is the biggest threat there. How many tanks does he have? He has the command tank, which urgently needs repairing, to be fair. He'd be relying on the M1A1 and a damaged M60. So actually, I think he might struggle to push through this open area to kill that T80. He would really need a good side shot on it. Down here, though, Badgerjelley being a little bit more aggressive. Do you see how he's pushing out? He's testing the water. He's wondering, can he get across? The answer is no, but he was seeing if he could get across to Echo. Thunderbolt coming in here. Not targeting anything in particular yet. In terms of anti-air, just Igla for Badgerjelley here. So aircraft and choppers, probably a good choice. Going for the T-62, though he is on attack ground, has switched targets to the chopper. That's a good shout. A-10's really good at taking out choppers. Biryusa. Oh, I missed the Biryusa. That is better anti-air. Good for suppressing. Up here, supply has arrived to repair these tanks. Or at least repair the command tank. But all the while, reinforcements arriving in for Badgerjelley. He will be able to reinforce and potentially push back into Delta. T-62s pushing up here, getting engaged on by the M60s. Not too unevenly matched. 12 armor, 16 pen versus the M60 with its 10 armor, 15 pen. Yeah, the M62 is better. Manages to get the kill on that tank. This M60 dies, but does get a kill in the process. Another T-62 moving in from the bottom. Got a good hit there. Yeah, Badgerjelley being pretty aggressive at the bottom here. Wants to push through to that back point if he can. Taking lots of fire from the Cobra, though. The Sapri, not long for this world. Very much annihilated. Some more tanks coming in up there, and oh, some big M1A1s coming in at the bottom here will be very effective against these T-62s. Up at the top, we do see the Badgerjelley making a little bit of progress, going sort of through the forest here. Scouts up here in a little bit of trouble. Probably going to die in that vehicle if he gets shot at by the Razvedka. Oh, it's Radveska Sapori. They only have grenades or the satchel charges. They don't have anti-tank. Although, these guys are just... Where are they go? Oh, they're going to unload there. Surely something's going to kill them before they get there. Yeah, I was going to say. Taken out by the BTR's machine guns. Badger having a good push down here. Those M1A1s are going to arrive just in time to deal with this. Biryusa being used as great fire support. There we go. M1A1s on station. Will engage these forces. We'll make short work of the Biryusa and the T-62s. We can see a good push back here from Bruce if he can keep the momentum going with these tanks. Kill the Conkers. Kill the T-62, and then there's not a lot left in that point. Badgerjelley has been sort of moving infantry across this open terrain and has lost quite a few as a result, unfortunately. He has obviously been engaged by the Cobra. He's getting shot at by the tanks now. So infantry caught out in the open like this, unfortunately, are sitting ducks. Up here, we see very little movement. Reinforcements have arrived for Bruce, though. Repaired the majority of stuff there. It's a good spread of units back here. There's two T-80s now, you see. So the defense there is better for Badger. He's bringing more reinforcements in down here as well. M60s have arrived down here for Bruce. He needs to clear up this infantry, and then it's going to depend on how aggressive he is. Conker's here firing at something, I assume the tanks here. Yeah. Oh, that was a side shot, I think. Very possibly. No, I think it might have been a front shot. I take that back. I think it might have just been a front shot. Almost looked like a side shot. SU-25 anti-tank coming in here. Targeting something. What is it? It's going for the supply. Lots of fire coming in on that. Oh, that is one dead SG-25. Cub's getting shots off at the Fighting Falcon, but doesn't get a hit. Well, if you were testing the water to see what the air defense was like, it's pretty good. Badger still bringing in reinforcements into this area. Some Conkers coming in there. It's pretty short range engagement there for a Conkers. I suppose you could get it all the way up to the top. Reinforcements arriving up at the top here for Bruce. He wants to try and control the top of there as well. Abrams trying to finish off the motor Strelky there. Do finish the job. A wayward Conkers missile there, I think. Off it goes. Completely curving back on itself. But more T-62s coming in for this middle point. Or middle area, I should say. Bruce is going rogue with a Jaeger Aufkühl. Conkers have one missile left. They must be set not to fire at transports. I think, yeah, it's set to never transports. So any infantry vehicles that come along here that are just transports, even if they have infantry in, won't be fired on. You can set these in the options, or you can set them per unit. Passenger, the unit is allowed to fire only if the transport has any passengers. That's perhaps a better option in that situation. Bruce is on the move. Now, Bruce did a really good push last game. I think we're about to see him do the same thing again. I think this could be a really good push. BMP-1 should die. Yes, it does. Now, there's a lot of infantry here. There's not a lot of fire support for Bruce at this for Badgerjelley, sorry, at this bottom point. So I think Bruce has a really good chance here. At the same time, Badgerjelley is pushing the top. Can Bruce hold? There's a lot of fire coming in from these tanks here. Where's the M1? I think the M1A1's already dead. I see an M60, but I think the M1A1 Abrams is already dead. There's still the command tank back there. But all of these infantry are just caught out in the open, getting hit by tanks from multiple sides. Good push down here, though, from Bruce. Bruce should easily make it into these buildings without too much of an issue. Really needs to get these tanks firing, though. Fantastic. Good push here by Bruce. Really good push. Badgerjelley doing the same at the top, though. Really good push. All those tanks pushing in. The Conkers die again. Very close range for Conkers. Metis getting some good hits off, though. Bigger squad. Tend to last a little bit longer. Bruce holding slightly better, I think, than down here. But obviously, there was a lot less here and it was a lot more spread out. Bruce doing a really good push here. He's bringing his command in. More Heimatsuchen coming in. Military police coming in. Bruce with his units at the top here. Not doing a huge amount at the moment. There's so much good fire support here from Badger. He's able to fire in from range with these tanks, and the tanks are pretty much unscathed by anything. There's nothing there that's really scaring them right now. Down here at the bottom, Bruce in a good position, has managed to secure this area. We'll get a command in, but there are reinforcements arriving, including a T-80BV for Badgerjelley here. Bruce needs to be kind of a little bit more aggressive, perhaps, and needs to get infantry into these buildings. Just to be able to fire RPGs and, you know, short-range anti-tank at these tanks and vehicles that are coming in. I see another M270 in, firing at this area here. It's a good shout. It stops the progression. It will do serious damage to the infantry. Might scare a couple of the tanks. Command tank here in a good position to fire out. Some of the time anyway. Another Abrams coming in. Another M60. Bruce may hold here, but he might start to have issues at the bottom. He's spreading out quite a lot. He's going for these units down at the bottom here. With quite a lot of units, to be honest. 3 squads of infantry, 2 tanks. T-80 is finished off by the 2 M1A1s. That's good. Bruce is making sure to keep them slightly further back. Keeping good line of sight. Up here, though, unfortunately, Bruce is in trouble. His command has been killed. He does have his tanks pushing in. They're just going across the point here. He needs to be careful. T-62 annihilated by those 2 tanks. Now, really, that was the majority of the pushing force from Badgerjelley actually destroyed. Really, it's only the T-80 that's majorly survived that. Okay, and the Razvedka Sapri, but otherwise, yeah, very much lost a lot of that. Cluster bomber coming in here. Has been spotted by Bruce. Does manage to get the... Oh, kills the cluster bomber before it even drops. Oh! The cluster bomber dropped its bombs on that corner. Successfully annihilated a supply vehicle, but that was all. More reinforcements coming in. Right now, Bruce still +2, is ticking up points, and I think has a chance to take this game at the moment. Sending a lot to deal with this Igla down here, though. I'm a little bit worried because there are a lot more reinforcements still arriving for Badgerjelley, and he's back in the buildings. I think this is the thing here. Unfortunately, Bruce didn't go for the buildings. He called something in there that went down the main road and got taken out by the Motorstrelki. Units can be a bit funny about the paths they pick sometimes. I've fallen victim to this as well. You sometimes have to give them multiple pathing orders to get them to go a sensible way into a point. Badgerjelley is back in this corner. His command is almost in. He will take this point to himself. There is no command at the moment. There is one at the back here for Bruce. He needs to get that moving up. All these units have killed the Igla, but they're just kind of hovering at the minute. He needs to keep them moving. And this is something that's difficult to get used to, and you'll see me still do it in games where I completely forget I've got this unit here or this unit there, and then suddenly I remember and go back and grab them. It's what the likes of Lathans and things do very well, is know exactly where every unit is all of the time and what needs to be moved where. There we go. Top is back to being neutralized. T-80 gets a good hit on the M60 there. Razvedka Sapri literally being used as cannon fodder to scout here to allow the T-80 to fire across. Mortar fire coming in on this area. You know what I said about those units at the top? There they go. They are moving through. This could actually be really nasty, because there's potential for Bruce to come around the back here and completely block off this supply route for a while, which will cause a lot of issues for everything here. Now, there will be 2 commands in here. Badgerjelley has brought in a command tank, and he has his command infantry. Down here, Badgerjelley getting back into a good position in these buildings, because unfortunately, Bruce just didn't push that advantage and get into the buildings. And Bruce is right at the back of this point. So this would be very susceptible to cluster bombers, HE bombers, artillery, even potentially mortars. But certainly, you know, it allows Badgerjelley just to be firing out of those buildings and harassing this little area of this point. Bruce moving those units up now to try and engage. There are some units back here. I'm sure he will kill the BTR in a moment. Speak of the devil, he does fire, he misses. Second hit gets it. There is a T-62 coming down at the bottom though. Bruce on the move here. Does manage to clear out those infantry. At the moment, Bruce is ahead and technically would win the game on points with 16 minutes left to go. But if Badgerjelley can push him out at this point, that might change quickly. And equally at the top here, Badger's kind of spreading out a bit, but mostly clustered in this corner, just as Bruce mostly clustered down here. And Bruce has a lot of firepower here. Another 2 M1A1s coming in. There's still a T-80 back here. He really needs to deal with that. And then the T-80 command tank as well. Chaparral should make short work of that chopper. Still has ammo. M270 is sort of clearing up this building area. I just want to see Bruce push into it. Up here, Badger getting some good shots off with that chopper even. Is that not, I was going to say, is that not in range of the Chaparral? There it goes. It's so hard to see the range or what they can actually see in the air sometimes. The Chaparral missed every shot. That is so unlucky. Like, incredibly unlucky, Bruce. The dice roll was not with you at all there. Military police here might get a good side shot on that. Oh, they're out of range. Thought it might get a good side shot on the tank there. Bruce still very stagnated down in this bottom point. Has not pushed into the buildings. He's got a lot of infantry. And he's got some good tanks here with some good firepower. But just has not progressed from this corner. There's another T-80 coming in now. Bruce moving up a little bit here by the looks of it. Abrams has taken a hit from the Metis, but will return fire. Military police going in now. Should be able to kill those Metis. Yes, there we go. Bruce on the move with his infantry now. Oh, he's not pushing up very far, though. These ones should get in the buildings, however. Up at the top, Badgerjelley making good progress across this point. Just hammering all of these units, and that chopper still unscathed, now just firing its main cannon at stuff for the most part. This command obviously at serious risk. A-10 coming in. A-10 would easily kill that chopper. It is taking fire from the Cub though. Does get a kill by the looks of it, or something got the kill there. Bruce is holding here. Down at the bottom, Bruce has made progress. He is now in this point. He is in the buildings, but just at the very edge. I expect his focus is up here on this battle at the moment. T-62 dealt with. T-80 has been dealt with. T-80 command tank has been dealt with. Bruce is clearing up here. He's taken a lot of damage. He's got plenty of repair there with Hemets. He needs to deal with that chopper. 2 Stingers in. Firing immediately. Come on, Stingers. Yes, that's better. A bit of dice roll. Pivot's firing as well. Come on, you can do this. Annihilate that Mi-24. It deserved to die much earlier. I'm sorry, Badgerjelley. It did. Bruce was so unlucky with his... It's still alive and it's getting away. That was so lucky against the Chaparral. The Chaparral so should have had it. The dice rolls were terrible there for Bruce. It's nothing personal, Badgerjelley, at all. It's just that Mi-24 should be dead. Okay, Bruce needs to repair and rearm. His units here are providing a really good distraction. Down here at the bottom, Badgerjelley's kind of trying to consolidate and push around here. Bruce needs to get into this point properly. A little bit worried about T80. What can it see? It can't actually see... Oh, but it's going to move up far enough to get shots off at those tanks. And it might be side shots. Good kill on the T62. T80... I don't think the T80 can see anything at the moment. No, it doesn't have a line of sight past the tree, so it is pushing up. This is much better. In a better position. Just needs to move everyone into buildings. Bruce managed to clear up here. Over at this side, there is the commander. There is a cub and there is an Igler. Bruce doesn't know it, but he could absolutely annihilate that side. Oh! This might be a good shout, though, clearing up before he goes in with the M270. May even get a kill on that command. Don't think he's going to, unless he gets a lucky shot. It was a good shout, though. He has forced the command out. Oh, no. He's just dancing it around a little bit. Good shout from Badger. The push is going on here. The T-80 tank has been destroyed. Come on, Bruce. Get through this point. I feel like Bruce has the numbers. He has more on the field. He's kept more alive. There's a T-80 knocking around in the middle here. But I feel like Bruce deserves this win at the moment. He's got the units, but he needs to fight for it. He needs to shift stuff about. All these tanks here coming down to deal with that T-80. It's just that command at the back on its own. I'm frustrated for you, Bruce, because you don't know what I know. Actually, 2580 coming in here. Takes fire from the Stingers. Supply. Bruce is really good with supply, can I just say? I mean, Badgerjelley's good as well, but I notice that there's always supply ready to go for Bruce. He's really good with his supply. Victory in that game for Bruce. Surrender from Badgerjelley. Look at the difference in kills to losses, guys. This is what I was saying. For me, Bruce had to win this one. I mean, he deserved the win. You got a little bit more aggressive. But so well played, guys. Really enjoyable. Really enjoyable. I was very much, well, as you can tell, almost screaming at the screen. That's not to say I'm voting for one person to win over the other generally, but in that game, Bruce had to win it. He had to win it. Really well played, guys. Look at that M6. Wow. That M60. That M60. I know it's a tank, but I might have to give that MVP because that's ridiculous for an M60. You know what, I don't like to give tanks MVP because they're tanks and they always get a lot of kills, but you know what? That M60 has been kept alive and done so much damage throughout that game, and it's killed a T-80, or at least got the final hit on a T-80 and two T-62s. So, you know what? The M60 gets MVP. But really good games, guys. I enjoyed both of those thoroughly. Really nice to see some slightly different play styles, and you know, that was a very, on the edge of my seat screaming at the screen moment at the end of that one. Again, guys, remember that these are in the rookie tournament. A lot of them are new players, so please, please, please be nice in the comments. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon for some more WARNO.